Hi guys. So I figured today, while I'm setting up my May bullet journal, that I would do a debt confession for you. So I figured that I would, we'll start with my debt trackers. So we'll start with my car. I have just bought this car, and in November of last year, and I regret the decision. I had a fully paid off car, and it probably would have lasted me another 100,000 miles, but I was in a good financial situation where, I could afford the payments, but then, I kind of got rocked in February of this year. So, I currently owe $41,615 and 14 cents. So Amazon, and just to let you guys know, I completely was debt free in November of last year. I had paid off, I had been going back and forth between being debt free and accumulating debt, and the fact of the matter is I was just completely overspending. And I thought that I could overplay stupid, but so I ended up racking up $32.12 on Amazon over about a month and a half. A lot of this stuff I don't need. Some of the stuff I haven't even opened yet. Ended up racking that up. My Citi card, literally as of the end or the beginning of this month, only had 3 cents on it, and I'll get into that a little bit later. My Costco card ended up having $402.09 on it. My HELOC is $39.0402. I ended up getting a HELOC in February, and to actually pay for 6 months worth of schooling. I don't want to get into student loan debt anymore. Student loan debt isn't on here, but I have there's a whole situation for that. So Chase ended up having $857.53 on it. Discover, $7,093.61. And my house is $68,676.54. So, all right, so I'm going to start a voiceover here and kind of tell the story. But back in February, my boss had basically fired me. He told me that it was actually a leave of absence, and then at the end of the leave of absence, we were going to change our job titles and do all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll take 2 months off, and I'll just get my certifications, do all this other stuff, especially since he was going to be paying me for those 2 months. Now, in March, he decided that I was actually fired. He was supposed to give me $5,000, made me go through the rigmarole, only ended up giving me $2,500, gave me the other $25 at the beginning of April, and then spread the April one throughout April and into May, I believe, like the end of April. So, yeah, I basically got screwed on this, and I ended up having to live off of between my savings and my credit cards and doing some Amazon Flex and whatnot. My BS2 balance, or my consumer debt balance with credit cards, is $15,469.34. Plus 41,615.14 brings me up to $57,084.48. And my house plus 68,676.54 gives me $125,761.02. Okay, so here's my totals. So I break these down. I'll continue the story time in a minute. So I break these down into my credit card debt, which I consider separate. And I call it my BS2 because this is where I'm really focusing on kind of cleaning up. And my car debt, which I add into it because this is, again, my BS2 in total, which brings me to $57,084.48 in total BS2 debt. And then my house is $125,761.02. So this is my total amount. At the end of the month, I put the ending balances here, and then I'll fill out a full tracker for you. I just started in the beginning of April at a current job. The problem is that I went from making a little bit over $100,000 a year to now making $60,000. So this car payment and this car allocation, if you follow the Dave Ramsey, this is too much. I'm going to try to keep it though. I'm going to try to give myself a year. I'm hoping that within the year I will be able to get some of my certifications and actually get a better paying job within the next year. So I'm planning on keeping this at least for a year. It's going to hold its value. It's a Toyota 4Runner. So generally speaking, they hold their value for a long time. I have low mileage on it. I have average amount now. I bought it with 3,000 miles on it, and with doing Flex and Instacart and with the little bits of travel that I did while I had it, I've actually put a lot of miles on it, but it's still under 20,000 miles. So I'm planning on keeping this. My HELOC, I'm planning on just using for school and for emergency house situations. I do need to get a new AC unit, and I do need to get a heater. So my heat went out in the beginning of February, and I know what it is. I think it's like I had it fixed 2 years ago. The problem is that my heater is 40 years old now, and my AC, again, 40 years old. So I was planning on putting in a new AC unit, and so that's going to actually raise my debt a lot. So I've been with my job for a month now, and I just got my last paycheck here. I'm kind of, so I'm not making a lot of money as I used to, and then B, I have a massive amount of debt. And when I look up all of these payments, like just to maintain the payments on this, the problem was I could not maintain my income or maintain like what I'm making with the amount with my salary. So I couldn't make these minimum payments with the salary. Like it was just, I don't think that I was going to do it based off the 2 paychecks that I had. And even if I did, it would be super, super rough. So what I ended up doing is I took and I consolidated a lot, $7,000 worth of my credit card debts from Citi, Costco, from my Citi account, my Costco account, and I actually consolidated it to a Discover. So I have 0% interest on this for 18 months. And that basically is going to end up hoping to be around $100 a month as a payment, which I can swing. So what I decided to do with my money And so this is, the beginning of my journey, I guess, my re-journey is I ended up taking everything that I had saved. So for February, March, and so for February, I actually did a lot of Flex, a lot of Instacart. I was able to pay the majority of my bills doing it. I ended up screwing up my elbow. I feel like it's like tennis elbow, but so I didn't do anything much in March. But I was able to keep all of my payments down really low just because my monthly payments were super low. I made all of the minimums. So I was able to, with the severance and with my tax return, I ended up having $11,025.51 in my savings. So what I ended up doing is I ended up paying off my Amazon card. I'll go ahead and switch a pen. So I ended up paying off my Amazon card, which was $3,212.06. I ended up paying off my city just because that was 3 cents. My Costco was $402.09, so I ended up, sorry, there's some shaking, my bad. So I ended up taking Costco, which was $402.09, and my HELOC, which is $3,900, and $4.02, as well as my Chase, which is $857.53. Sorry, I don't know if that bothers you as much as me. So I ended up taking this amount and putting in and basically paying off everything except for this Discover card. Since I've been doing the Ramsey plan for so long, I haven't, it was always money in, money out. And the Ramsey plan works if you are not a spender, which I am. There's not a dollar in my account that I don't want to spend or a credit card that I don't want to put it on. I curtailed this 3 years ago, and the problem is that now it's come to bite me. I didn't have my 3 to 6 months saved. I literally just I made 75% more than what my bills were. My living expenses used to be about 15%, if that, of what I was making. So, basically 50 to 60% of my paycheck, I just blew. I feel horrible about it now because I'm not making near enough money. And if I would have saved up what I saved up, I could have bought the car in cash. I honestly could have really taken my house down to almost nothing and probably put a lot of money in my savings. I bought a motorcycle last year for like $9,000, and I bought the car, and I really put myself in a position. So yeah. So with that, I started with 11.25.51. So I took the 32.12.06. I took the 0.03. I took the 402.09. I took 3904.02. And I took 857.53. So this leaves me approximately 2649.78 left. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. So $2,649.78. There we go. Sorry about that. So my goal, and this is why I'm making this such a long video. So my goal is to pay the minimum balance on my Discover card because it is a 0% interest rate, and take this $26.49 and start beefing up all extra money into my savings account. So I would like to be able to hit $200 a month in savings, and it's insane that that's all that I could really save with my current expenses right now. Once I can get into some side hustles, and also, the faster that I can get done with school, that's a whole nother thing. I also do have student loans that are not accounted for. And they're not accounted for one big reason. I applied and was approved for the borrower's defense for student loans. And so half of my student loans have been taken away, or at least they have to tell me how much has been taken away. And I know how much that is, which is like $12,000, but I don't know how much that has accrued in interest, even though, like, this was, 10, 12 years ago, because I consolidated my loans about 6 or 7 years ago. So I don't know how much interest has gone on any of those. I will be getting a check for it soon. I have no idea when I'm getting that check. With everything that I've paid towards those loans since that's been approved, the other half of the loans is actually pending in borrower's defense. It was another school, and the government takes 3 years to approve it. So my payments are completely deferred for 3 years. And if the Biden stuff goes through, which, I mean, that's a whole thing, but if the Biden stuff goes through, I won't have any student loans left. And if they approve my borrower's defense, I think it's going to be like a $15,000 check that I'm going to be getting back. So this is why I'm really holding on to this car loan, because I don't know, like, if I can get, $7,000-$8,000, this year, and then within the next 2 years, I get another $7,000-$8,000. This really brings this car payment down to something where I can refinance it if the interest rates go low, and actually spread it out to a much lower payment, which I've actually done on the past 3 cars, because I always buy a car and I never, like, you would think that I'd learn, but I've always refinanced anywhere between a year, 2 years, 3 years out to get that lower monthly payment. And then I end up, the last car I refinanced out, I still ended up paying it in under 5 years. And it didn't really cost me that much, but I ended up paying it off the same amount of time as I was supposed to. I initially only wanted to take 2 years to pay this off, but now that I'm not making, or have an extra $50,000 in expendable income, I'm really struggling to make sure that I can make all my ends meet. And I know that $60,000 is a lot to some people, but I've literally cut my salary in half. And prior to that job, I was making, $84,000. So even from what I've been used to over the past, 4 or 5 years, it's still a $20,000 cut. And, like I said, the problem is that I'm a big spender. I'm a huge spender. So you know, it's money in, money out. So I really have to change. I mean, this is fully habitual here. So I really just have to change my habits. So with my monthly amount, I'm going to end up adding in all of my remaining balances. So anyway, this is a long, long story to show you how much debt I actually have. So hopefully I didn't lose you guys, and hopefully I'll be able to see you guys in the next video with my monthly budget. So thanks. Bye.